Hello, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Molly, and it has been a while since we've done a little thrift haul, but I do have a collection of things that I've been gathering over the last few weeks, months really, if I'm being honest, and I thought it would be fun to share with you. The laundry room makeover project has been keeping me very busy lately. If you have not been keeping up, make sure you go back and check out the last few videos to see what we've been up to. But I have been able to find a little bit of time in between things to sneak out and do some shopping, and that always brings me a ton of joy. So I've got a couple pieces of art, plus something that has potential to be art, and then a handful of fun styling goodies. So let's see, what should we start with? Okay. These little carved wooden bowls are nothing new, okay? We've been seeing them forever. But if you are in the New England area, I mean, maybe it's like this other places. Every time I see these things, they are so expensive. And I don't know why, to be honest. I don't know if this is like from Pottery Barn and someone just donated it, or if this is actually like a, hand carved piece that someone made themselves. But either way, I think it was like under $10 and that never happened. So when I saw it, I grabbed it. It's got this nice subtle curve, and I thought this would be really cute as a centerpiece on the dining room table to put like some ornaments in for the holidays, even some like dried flowers. You could use it for onions and garlic in your kitchen somewhere, or your pantry, fruit, you name it. There's lots of things you can do with something like this, and I just love sort of the natural, kind of imperfect look that it has. So $10 for this, it was a steal. All right, next up we have this lovely mirrored tray. It's got a nice little patina on it, but it was in generally pretty good shape. Like, the mirror doesn't have any cracks or chips. It could use a little bit of a polish, but overall I thought it was in pretty good condition. I think this was $12 if I remember correctly. I always keep my eye out for these types of things. They're great for styling. You can put them on a coffee table. You can use them in your dressing room or closet or bathroom to collect bits and bobs. It's just like a fun little styling piece. You could put it in a bookshelf, either up on its side like this behind some books, or, underneath and put like a candle or something on it. So I love that it's very flexible. The person who got me onto these was McKenna from the channel XO McKenna or XO McKenna Vlogs. I'm sure if you watch any sort of DIY thrifting, antiquing project type YouTube channels, you have heard of her. And if you haven't, go check her out right now. Go open a new tab, go find her channel, but don't leave us. Stay right here. I still have more things to show you. But anyway, she uses these a lot in styling, and I just always thought it was a nice piece to add. It's fairly simple, but it adds a nice element of reflection and just a little sparkle. So one thing I really liked about this one in particular is the like floral detail kind of along the edge here. Just thought that was a really pretty element. I would love to find something like this in more of like an elongated oval shape, so I'll still be keeping my eyes peeled, but I think this will be a fun one to style with, especially for the holidays, just to add a little more like twinkle with all the lights that I'll be adding. Next up, we have two different sets of brass candlesticks. One was $18 for the pair and the other was $17 for the pair. And I liked these ones in particular because they were just a little bit simpler than what I usually see. A lot of times the brass is like a little more ornate, and this was just like very simple, straight, clean lines. Had a really long skinny neck here, which I liked. And I also liked that the pair were two different sizes. I just think they kind of like pair nicely together. I also got this set, which is the same height. They are a little more like detailed. But they also had the round bases, and most of my brass candlesticks have round bases. Now, I'm not opposed to other shapes, but it's just one that I gravitate toward. And I feel like that's pretty good for the pair. Like under $10 a stick is a pretty good price around here. A lot of times I'll see them and they're kind of super overpriced. So if I spot a good price, I like to grab them to add to the collection, because it's really fun when you can do a whole bunch of them, like on your mantle, like I have in the dining room, or in a tablescape, or, little pairs of them sprinkled in smaller rooms, like an office or a bathroom. So always good if you find a good price to grab sets of these. This is a very unassuming mini wooden cutting board, but what I like about things like this is they are great for styling, layering, stacking, and the size of this is nice and small, so it fits on like narrow shelves or mantles like we have. I use one of these usually in the sitting room that we're in right now when I'm not decorating for the holidays, to just put like a candle and a little like snuffer on. You can kind of layer these in the back of shelves, kind of on their like upright like this or on their side. I use one in the kitchen to put a little vase on. So these are really versatile. You can use them for lots of things. Honestly, you could probably use it as a cutting board. One of the things I really liked about this is that it has this slot at the top. And if I'm guessing accurately, which I might not be, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that slot is to put a recipe card in. So I know these days a lot of people are using like blogs, iPads, you name it, lots of digital recipes out there. But I know for myself, I have lots of handwritten recipe cards from my family, and especially around the holidays when I'm doing lots of cooking and baking, I like to refer to those recipes, and having something like this where I can stick the card in and have it propped up so I can easily read it and not like touch it when I'm making a mess cooking or baking is really nice to have in the kitchen. I grabbed this cute mini $5 grapevine wreath. So there's nothing really super special about it aside from the fact that I liked the size, I liked the price, and it's a perfect thing to kind of keep in my DIY stash. I've pinned a lot of fun little wreath ideas, and this has some nice structure and lots of like good holes you can easily stick things into. You could easily fill this with fresh greenery, flowers, dried fruit, or go beyond natural elements. That's just where my head's at because I'm thinking a lot about just like fresh greenery wreaths this time of year. I don't know if I'll do anything with it this year, but for $5 I figured I'd pick it up and hang on to it, and then when the ideas strike, I can just pull it out and make a fun little wreath out of it. Okay, I'm very happy with this next find. I spotted it like from afar, and I just like briskly walked over to it because as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's mine. Nobody else is getting that. How beautiful is this? It's this lovely sort of like distant cityscape. There's lots of like strokes and texture in the painting, which I love. Normally I'm not very drawn to things with like yellow and orange in it, but obviously like from afar it just looks like the glow of lights from the buildings in the background, which I thought was really pretty. It also just adds a little bit of warmth, and it works nicely with this like gold aged frame. I loved the frame. I mean, look at that. It's so ornate, and it's solid wood. So it's not like those plastic frames that are kind of made to look old, which there's nothing wrong with them. I do have them myself. These are hard to find, but when I do spot them, and for $35, I was like, ooh, that feels like a good deal. It's in good shape. And the nice thing is that the artwork is held in place with these little like tabs, I guess, and I could easily slide those off, pop this canvas out, and replace it with something if I wanted to switch the art up seasonally and reuse the frame. So $35 for this, really, really happy with it. Next up, we have this lovely three-legged stool. It just felt very primitive. It has this handle on it. There has got to be a reason for this handle. I just don't know what it is. Like maybe for lifting? I don't know. If anyone knows what the purpose of this design is, please do share. But I spotted it and I was just like, that would be perfect for a little plant stand, or I don't know, a stool in a bathroom. There's lots of reasons you could use something like kind of low to the ground like this, but it was just such a simple, like primitive kind of design, which I thought was really cute and definitely fits in with like a lot of the decor in this house. I also loved that it was wood. It's got some nice like seasoning, aging, I don't know what you would call that, on the top. I think this was $15 or $20, and it's pretty solid. There's a couple of like wobbles in the legs here, but that would be really easy to fix, and it's not something I'm standing on, so unless I would ever use it for something where it needs to like really support weight, that wobble is totally fine. But let me know what you guys think. Would you have grabbed this? Another piece of artwork. This one is a little bit bigger than the other piece, but again, was definitely drawn to this because of the colors. It's a real painting, so it's got that nice like texture in the painting. I'm not sure if you can tell. I also loved the frame, how it's got like this wood exterior and this gold interior, and just overall, it's kind of like moody but warm. It's got like lots of brown tones in it, and then there's like an onion and a shallot here, so I immediately was like, oh, that would work really nicely in the kitchen. It also reminded me of a painting I had to do in my drawing and painting class in college, where we had to do a still life very similar to this. It was like some kind of picture and something in front of it. I can't remember. But I held on to those paintings for years. I never did anything with them. I always thought like maybe I would frame them or whatever, but eventually I was like, okay, I need to like clear some stuff out. So I donated them. And funnily enough, here we are buying another still life. So everything comes around full circle, but I really am happy with this one. I think it will look nice in the kitchen. And I already added this extra ribbon I had sitting in my craft closet. It's like this mustardy gold color, but just adds a little bit of like a feminine flair and will make it easy to hang. And I'll probably hang this over the little like phone jack in our kitchen because we don't have a house phone. So I can just kind of hang this over to hide it. Last but not least, we have this beautiful Adirondack style frame. Now it's kind of falling apart, as you can see here by the bottom, falling off. But that makes it easier to show you up close. It's got these beautiful little like wooden carved leaves, and the joints are interesting. So it's kind of like, it almost reminds me of Lincoln logs. Did anybody play with those? And they just kind of like fit together. So I have a little bit of repair that I need to do. I'll try to back up so you can like see the whole thing here. But there's just something really fun and unique and interesting about these frames. Like, they've just got like this really beautiful kind of like carved texture. This one has a little gold detailing on the inside here, which, as you've seen by the things that I've collected, I have a theme of grabbing things that are wood and brass or gold. So it just ties in with a lot of things I have in the house. But it just also has this very like rustic sort of, I don't know, like cabin-y kind of feel, like cozy. And we definitely span the gamut here, all the way from like high-end vibes to like, you know, cute cottagey cabin vibes. But I kind of love the mix of everything, and I'm a huge supporter of just buying what you love. So I had seen this at a thrift store near me in Chelmsford, and they actually had two of them, and I was like, I don't know, I think it was $25, which now looking back, I'm like, that's not that bad of a price. But at the time I was like, $25, it's falling apart. I don't need that. And then I came back like a few weeks later and it was still there. And I was like, if I'm feeling this way about it and I just like, I keep going back to it, then it's probably meant to be purchased by me. So I did get it, and I will do some repair. I haven't decided what I want to put in it yet, but we'll think of something. And I've said this a million times, I'm, you know, making empty promises at this point, but I need to frame a whole bunch of art. I have tons of frames just sitting upstairs in our guest room closet that are waiting to be, you know, properly filled with art and hung places. So at some point I do want to do a video and just show you how I mat things and frame things, and, you know, how to like repair frames like this and all that jazz. So I will work on getting that into the schedule so that we can get that filmed and have some fun DIYing some art together. But yeah, that's all I have today. I think I shared prices of everything. If I missed anything, let me know. If you have any fun facts or, you know, things I should know about what I've shared, please let me know in the comments. I love learning about the things that I pick up. Sometimes I know, sometimes I just grab it and have no idea. But it's fun to hear from you guys, like different stories, or if you've found similar things. So thanks for joining our little haul today. If you haven't checked out the laundry room makeover, make sure you go check that out and see what we're up to. You might see a couple of these pieces make their way into that once we are, you know, into the decorating stage. But until then, happy thrifting, happy antiquing, and I will catch up with you in the next video.